import ban on all cotton and tomato products from Western China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region in January 2021 over allegations that they were made with forced labor from detained Uyghur Muslims. The US, European Union, Britain and Canada later also imposed more sanctions on Chinese officials for alleged human rights abuses in Xinjiang, allegations that China strongly rejects. Exactly what are happening on the ground in the region? Why have there been such allegations against Xinjiang in the first place, and what impact are such allegations having? I'm pleased to be joined by Khalid Taimur Akram, Executive Director of the Center for Global and Strategic Studies from Islamabad, Pakistan. Mr. Akram, thank you very much for being with us. Now, please start with sharing with us your experiences visiting Xinjiang. I understand you have been there multiple times, and the last being in 2019. Tell us a bit about your experience, your understanding of the situation in Xinjiang, and what were your discoveries there?
Thank you very much. Yes, I have been visiting Xinjiang province, especially Urumqi and Kashgar, for quite a number of times. My first visit was there in 2006 and 2007, and after that I visited last in 2019. And between 2007, my first visit, to my last visit in 2019, I saw a lot of change in the situation in Urumqi and Kashgar and the outskirts areas of Urumqi. I happened to meet with Muslims over there, with Uyghurs over there, and their lifestyle has considerably improved once I visited in 2019. For example, almost every restaurant in Urumqi, I found out that they were serving halal food, which is Muslims basically eat halal food, and every restaurant in Urumqi was serving halal food. The per capita income of Uyghurs and Muslims had increased. I also visited the Grand Mosque in Urumqi and offered prayers for 2-3 days over there, and over there I met with a lot of Muslims who were coming there for prayers, and it was just casual talk with them, and I was very pleased to find that the Chinese government is extending extremely well package for them, and even I would say that people living in Urumqi in the far-flung area, they are getting better pay packages and better living conditions than in a bigger city like Shanghai.
What do you think has propelled, or what factors have propelled the fast development of cotton production in Xinjiang?
I think basically 3 reasons. Number one, we have seen in last 40 years, China has brought in technological transformation in every field. So the cotton is basically produced by the cotton seed, and the advancement in cotton seed which is done by China is remarkable. Number one is this. 2, the care of the crop. You know, once the crop is harvested, there are lots of things which need to be done. So in China, what I saw and what I heard was that everything was done through technology, and that is why the cotton production increased. And third is the cotton quality. Right now, the cotton quality of China, especially the Xinjiang province, it is considered to be the best in the world.
By banning cotton imports from Xinjiang, however, who do you think will most adversely be affected?
Actually, first of all, we have to see that what is the background. Since last couple of years, ever since the Chinese government has started the Belt and Road program, and after that, recently China has started Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, and then China started another initiative of the Community of Shared Future, and all these projects. So West is, especially United States, under the President Trump, they were very much afraid that their market will be taken over by Chinese. So the Chinese are not taking over the market by force. The Chinese are basically taking over the market by their quality and by their good product. So the West, instead of competing with the Chinese, so they have started off with this thing that the Chinese are manipulating with the Uyghurs, the Chinese, they are adopting the forced labor. So these are all accusations which they have started. Basically, the background. Now, who will get affected? I think that banning Chinese cotton, nothing will get affected. China has much more larger market in Africa, in Asia, in all the BRI countries. Almost 100 plus countries are part of the Belt and Road Initiative. So even if the US would ban Chinese cotton, I think they would suffer the most, because the prices of their products will be raised in their country, and they will be forced by their own public to open up the Chinese cotton, because China will not be sufferer in any case, because if you see US and European market as compared to the complete world market, it is a very small share as compared to the complete world market. And none of the other countries in the world has talked about this thing, or even has followed the US ban or anything. So at the end of the day, the market prices in US will increase, and banning Chinese products in the US market, especially the cotton products, I think the European brands and the US brands would suffer.
In another article, you said that the anti-Chinese rhetoric and biased reporting by mainstream Western media against Xinjiang cotton are pushing forward the agenda and interests of the United States and other governments to sabotage Beijing's growing position in the world. What exactly is the agenda that the United States and other governments want to push forward here?
Yes, there are basically three things over here. Number one, the West is very much afraid of the Belt and Road program, and they are sometimes trying to project Belt and Road program as equivalent to East India Company, which the Britishers had, but they do not know this thing, that the China's Belt and Road program is a win-win situation. It's an economic integration for the complete world, and it is taking the world towards a community with shared future. So one, they are afraid of this. Two, the rising Chinese economic capability would certainly mean that China in coming years is going to be the only so-called, as they say, as the West say, the word superpower. But the Chinese government has never used this word superpower. But America is afraid of this thing because the American dollar is going down. Americans feel that in a couple of years, their dollars will, the international trade will not be in US dollars. It may shift to Chinese yuan or to euro. So they're afraid of that. So basically, this all complete propaganda started by the American government. It was started by previous American government, and the present government is continuing with that. And the Western media is to protect the American industry, is to protect the American US dollar, because Americans have seen that in last 50 years, all the international trade had been happening in US dollar. But with the rise of the Belt and Road program and with the rise of the Chinese economic integration with the world, so what I foresee that in next maximum 1 to 2 or 3 years, the international community will be trading in Chinese yuan. Why not Chinese yuan? Because if you are dealing with China, why not deal with through Chinese yuan? So this is their second worry.
Data from the China Cotton Association shows that more than half of Xinjiang's farmers grow cotton, with the majority being ethnic minorities, and of course Uyghurs make up a big portion of that. So by banning cotton imports and tomato imports from Xinjiang, is the United States actually helping or harming the livelihood and the poverty alleviation efforts of ethnic minorities, especially the Uyghur people?
Actually, basically, the United States wanted to play two cards. The first card is this, that they wanted to tell the Muslims of the world that how China is mistreating Muslims. So this ban, it does not basically affect the Chinese economy, but basically the United States' main effort is to project China as an anti-Muslim country, or where the Muslims are not protected. So this American theme is, I would say, it has failed, because the Xinjiang province is open. Anybody out of the complete world media can go over there and see the things. As I said, that I myself went and I was there for 10 days in 2019, and just very recently, just before the COVID, a few of my other friends had went there, and they also had the similar opinion. So one, the Americans, they were trying to use this card to tell the Muslim world about the bad situations of Uyghur, which is again wrong. And second, they wanted to jolt the Chinese economy, because they thought that if China would lose the European or US market, they are going to lose a lot. But they do not know, they are not ready to comprehend this thing, that the Belt and Road program of China has changed the dynamics of the complete world.
Okay.
I have, yeah.
Many thanks to Khalid Taimur Akram, Executive Director of the Center for Global and Strategic Studies in Islamabad, Pakistan. With that, we come to the end of this edition of The Point with me, Liu Xin. As always, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter using the handle Liu Xin in Beijing. Thanks for watching. You've got The Point.